By the way, what I wanted to mention the other day, I never got around to it, Vice President Kamala Harris didn't leave Mike Pence sitting there with nowhere to go or nobody to help him go there after the inauguration the other day. I do give Pence 1/1,000,000% of credit that he showed up for the inauguration, whereas the coward in chief, the terrorist in chief, the son of a bitch in chief, hightailed it out to his little castle in Palm Beach, Florida. But Pence sat there through the whole thing, and while there were many opportunities in Biden's inauguration speech to reference the terrible, rotten, destructive 4 years we'd just been through, other than a few oblique mentions, Joe Biden stayed away from that. But Pence sat there through the whole thing. When it was over, Kamala Harris escorted him to a motorcade that, in effect, that motorcade ushered him, Pence, back into civilian life after she was sworn in to replace him yesterday. And that offered sort of a symbolic representation, since the orange coward wasn't around, of the peaceful transfer of power from one administration to the other. And that is always something that the rest of the world looks to see if it's going to happen yet again, as it has happened every year since when? 1791 or whatever. I'm not that much of an historian, am I? But Kamala Harris did it. And part of that exchange between the old vice president and the new vice president was that Pence called Kamala Harris last week to congratulate her. And he offered her assistance, although it came how late? 2-3 months late in her transition to the vice presidency. And that was the first time, according to, I think, the New York Times, that was the first time that the two had spoken since the vice presidential debate last fall. So there was poor old puppy dog Mike Pence, the uber Christian, most senior member of the Pigs administration to attend Biden's inauguration, sitting there with that hangdog look on his face. Jesus Christ, Mike, I mean, come on. Maybe you can pray to your pretend God to have that look removed from your face now, huh? I wonder if Mike Pence ever goes out with a buddy and has a beer or laughs about something. I doubt it. I doubt it. Anyway, Biden had said that he was happy not to have Trump in attendance. Yeah, I guess so. But that Mike Pence was welcome to show up, which Pence did. And then Kamala Harris and her husband escorted Pence and his wife to their vehicle. And if you're keeping note, Pence is expected or was expected to return to Indiana now that his term as the fillator-in-chief is completed. That must have been a horrible position to be in. I mean, I don't know Mike Pence's inner workings, and I don't want to know, and I really don't care. I do know his record when he was governor of Indiana. It was horrible. He refused to, kind of in a Reagan-esque way, refused to even acknowledge the existence of AIDS in his state as it sickened and killed person after person after person. But you know, when AIDS first presented itself, it was lauded by these Christian son of a bitches as God's vengeance on gay men. God, that's so sick. So Pence, while I'm mentioning, as if he's listening, while I'm mentioning you on this podcast, the fact that Kamala Harris had the presence and the decency and the respect of the office to walk you to your car, I still think you're a Class A son of a bitch. Now, if you'll remember, there were all sorts of threats that on I almost say graduation day. Well, it is a form of graduation, I guess, yesterday. But on Inauguration Day, there would be all sorts of these dumb shit woodwork-dwelling vermin like QAnon and the Proud Pricks and the rest of these scum were going to gather in front of state capitals and just raise hell and beat the shit out of the pavement and attack buildings and, show the world, these white people would, about how their rights were being denied and they had things taken away from them. I said this the other day. Name one goddamn thing that you are deprived of, you bully-boyed, white, beer-gutted assholes. One thing that the government of the United States on any level has deprived you of, you stupid shit. One thing, and you can't. I think you're all pissed off because the women you come in contact won't put out for you. So you are involuntary, celibate? Incels? I got your incel, you poor son of a bitches. I can't get laid, so I'm going to burn down the state capitol. That's what I'm going to do. Bitches won't have anything to do with me. Maybe there's a reason for that, huh? These people are not going to go away. I'll get to that a little bit later in the podcast here as an example, but there's supposed to be all of this shit was going to happen on Inauguration Day. Ooh. Well, in Concord, New Hampshire, they showed up. One guy. He stood in front of the State House in Concord, New Hampshire, holding a Trump-Pence campaign sign with Pence scratched out. Oh, because, you see, Pence is a traitor. Pence agreed to announce the results of the Electoral College vote. He agreed to certify that vote in the United States Senate as per the U.S. Constitution when the slob bastards broke in and were going to try to stop him. So this dumb shit. Oh, and he declined to give his name. New York Times had a reporter there, I guess. He declined to give his name because he feared retribution. And he also feared, his words, quote, a subversive communist police state, end quote. Oh, my God. No, we're already there, aren't we? Aren't we living in the worst possible existence now because Joe Biden is president? Look all around you. They're communists, and they got guns pointed at your puppy dogs and your wives. And they're holding your children hostage in cage. Oh, wait a minute. That's somebody else already got to that. You miserable, whiny-ass little white Christian fascist crybabies. Jesus Christ. Oh, they're going to take our guns away. They're going to take our, I don't know, but they're going to do something bad to us. Oh, my God. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcast. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.